Preparing to fill in for Hugh Hewitt, one of the things I enjoy doing most is reading and running across pieces that make me go, let's see if we can get this writer on this occasion. Jack Fowler, contributing editor at National Review, has written a wonderful piece, and the headline is, Gavin Newsom, climate warrior, flinches as California's war against oil produces a crisis. Jack, welcome. It's wonderful to have you.
Mark, it's great to be here, great to talk to you, and I'm honored to be on the Hewitt Show. Love you. It's just one of the great men in America today. Yeah.
You're very, very kind. Thank you. So what we have here is one of those things that's almost a law of physics or math. It's a near certainty that if you savage and brutalize an industry, it doesn't want to be in your state anymore. So the fossil fuels industry has grown a little dark on California. But rather than saying, bye, Felicia, Gavin Newsom finds himself over a barrel. Not my joke. Let me have you describe it. That's kind of the premise. It's like he's now having to beg them to stay in his energy-rich state.
Right. Well, why is that? Well, oil comes from refineries. By the way, I'm no oil expert, but I've written a lot over the years of big oil hate. And there is no one person other than Gretchen, whatever her Thunberg in Sweden, who comes across hating and managing hatred of big oil than Gavin Newsom. So in California, with the Democrat supermajority legislature and a crazy progressive left bureaucracy, they're trying to end gasoline-powered cars. We know by, I think it's 2035 in the state, all cars are supposed to be electric EVs. Well, guess what? There's still millions of cars that need gasoline to get around. There's still people that need gasoline for their electric lawnmowers and their chainsaws, other things. But the refineries have been profit capped. So you're right, Mark. Why do business in a place where we are not going to be able to make any money? It's not worth the time. It's not worth the effort. We're going to shut down. Well, even Gavin Newsom knows that if that happens, and when that happens, California's already insanely high gas prices are going to go drastically higher. There are two refineries that Phillips 66 and, I forget the name of the other one in the article. I'm getting old, Mark. But if they shut down, that will cut output of gasoline for cars and other uses by 20%, which means the prices are going to spike. And as we all know, these prices are already drastically high. And the legislature passed some new taxes within the last year that I think being rolled in over a few years, those taxes alone were going to add another 65 cents a gallon that people have to pay. So, would it be surprising in a few years that Californians are going to pay $10 a gallon for gas? No question. Gavin doesn't care. He's in his gated community, but the guy that needs to get from work, point A to point B, needs to drive 50 miles to get to that job, he's going to be crucified.
Can I count on the court system, fingers crossed tightly, in California to bring some sanity to a case you describe in your article, People of the State of California versus Exxon Mobil et al.? It's a sweeping lawsuit filed a couple of years ago, the Newsom administration accusing these oil companies of deceiving the public about climate change, which is also known as disagreeing with him and his belief that fossil fuels are destroying the planet, something for which the evidence is, and I'm being gracious here, sketchy. It's like a court having to determine whether climate extremism is sensible, and to have a company's pocketbook dependent on their wisdom, it's a little scary.
Well, as the article states, there is big lawfare going on in many sectors in American society by leftist law concerns. And of course, while Gavin Newsom is flinching, by the way, back on this story, like, wait a minute, let's not close these refineries so soon. The state and the state attorney general's office is proceeding with lawfare against big oil, as you point out in this case. By the way, it's happening in many other places. But in many other places, even local district courts, they say, no, there's no there. It helps just to have a company fight back. One of the other big oil-based companies in California was Chevron. And Chevron there was an attempt to blackmail Chevron about 10 plus years ago by a guy named Steven Donziger. It was a case out of Ecuador. The Ecuadorian courts charged in favor of locals, of the left, and against Chevron for billions of dollars, but Chevron fought back. You know, many people, we've experienced this with conservatives so many times in America, where corporations are, there's a shakedown and they pay off just to go away. We see this in all kinds of ways. Black Lives Matters. How many billions of dollars did that organization shake down American corporations for in recent years? Anyway, Chevron fought back and won, and actually in federal court. It's a couple of great books about this case called The Crime of the Century. There's no there. We have to know, though, the left will use, as we do know this, they use dirty tactics. They pay off the judges. They concoct evidence. But when they're caught and it's brought before courts of law, we have prevailed. So there's evidence there to be hopeful, to not despair, that maybe the courts are a place where this idiocy, it's more than idiocy, it's evil against oil. Now, I'm not, I don't bathe in it, Mark. I don't, I don't own stock in oil companies. But where there is oil, there is energy and there is a decrease in poverty. Where you don't have the energy, you have poverty. So this is a real twisted aspect to this. There's a real hatred of people that we find in progressives and the left. And it manifests itself here. Let's not let these middle class boobs be able to drive their cars. And it's the same. It manifests itself in many other ways. In California, again, water. Let's not give them water. Too bad. Let's cut off the water so they don't. They're not able to grow crops in the Central Valley. Precisely. There's quite a demented aspect to the left.
And one would think there would be consequences for it. I knew this would work off well. Jack Fowler, thank you so much, contributing editor, National Review. Check out his piece, again, titled, Gavin Newsom, Climate Warrior, Flinches as California's War Against Oil Produces a Crisis. It is there at National Review online.